What's up, people? How you doing tonight?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Now I know that this is a gamer channel, and I know the last time I said that, I also said that music is like my favorite thing ever. But comedy, specifically stand-up comedy, is the most important art form we have at our disposal.
How do you keep a moron in suspense?
The funniest ones have us doing all sorts of acronyms, but the best ones make us laugh and think. I'm NintenDopeman, and these are the Dopest Comedians.
This is cool.
And we built up empires. We stole countries. That's what you do. That's how you build an empire. We stole countries with the cunning use of flags. I claim India for Britain. And they go, you can't claim us. We live here. 500 million of us. Do you have a flag?
Get used to this because I love British, Irish, Scottish, and Australian comics. Known as the Lost Python, Eddie Izzard stutters and stammers and rambles out these pantomimed monologues about everything from world history to pop culture.
And Hitler ended up in a ditch covered in petrol on fire. So that's fun. And he was a vegetarian and a painter. So he must have been going, I can't get the fucking trees. Damn, I will kill everyone in the world. Blasphemy, blaspheme you. But, you know, whales, they're intelligent. They do whale song. We don't know what it means, but I think that whales are traveling at 78. If we take them up to 45 speed, we'll find they're actually going, I love you, baby. And if it's quite all right, I love you, baby.
I don't know if I'm being overly ambitious, but I'm trying to invent an ironing board that when you open it, it doesn't sound like this. Every ironing board I've ever opened sounds like a witch being boiled in oil.
Sometimes you just need a good, healthy laugh. Those are the times to listen to Brian Regan.
I'm in the store reading the Fig Newton's label. I looked at the serving size, 2 cookies. Who the hell eats 2 cookies? 2 sleeves is a serving size. They're nuts. We got an ER here. We got a 3 Fig Newton eater. How many did he have?
His inanely quirky observations and his thundering dorky voice split my fucking sides.
You ever look at a Pop-Tarts box? They have directions on there. Like if the directions weren't on there, would somebody, what the, could there possibly be more than one step? I can only think of one. Step 1, toast the Pop-Tarts. Go ahead, toast them. But they've managed to break them into smaller increments. Remove pastry from pouch. Number 2, insert pastry vertically.
I'm probably going to use the word nigger quite liberally. You should know that I like the word, and that's wonderful childhood memories for me. So I'm very sorry that it's upsetting to white people recently. Like, if I was a woman, I wouldn't let words like bitch or cunt or fat upset me. I would be more offended by words like you gonna be paid less.
This guy is awesome. Born in Georgia but based in the UK, he's like Richard Pryor and Stephen Fry rolled into one dude.
He says, hey Rich, you know Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe. I said, hey Dad, you know Irish people are considered the niggers of Europe. And he said, God damn it, white folks won't let black folks have nothing. First thing they want to do is ask me about Britain. A lot of white people, and I say, man, this is where they make white people, man. It's like white people's Africa. Britain has more of a class issue. And I had to explain to them, a class system is what you use to discriminate against people who look like you. You tell me, is that racist? I'm like, fuck man, I don't know. Was there hatred in your heart when you said it?
Felt, you know, everybody blames the Jews for killing Christ, and then the Jews try to pass it off on the Romans. You know, I'm one of the few people that believes it was the blacks. I don't care. Good. I hope the Jews did kill Christ. I'd do it again. I'd fucking do it again in a second. If I hear his Birkenstocks clacking this way.
Sarah fucking Silverman.
Midgets don't like being called little people. You know, they much prefer, yes you are.
She looks and sounds sweet, but she'll say the most fucked up shit, which perfectly captures her essence as a master of misdirection.
I was licking jelly off of my boyfriend's penis, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm turning into my mother, you know? It's like I don't want to be labeled as straight or labeled as gay, you know? I just want people to look at me and see me, you know, as white. And you know what babies love? Ethnic jokes. I don't care if you think I'm racist, I just want you to think I'm thin.
An early memory of Portland from before you were born, I would come up here to do shows with Black Flag. These people, their records aren't just something to me, they saved me. You know that these records save your ass. Whenever I see Iggy Pop, I'm like, hey, he's like, hey Henry, how are you, man? I'm like, that's my name! Ah!
The former Black Flag vocalist technically considers what he does to be spoken word, but it's still funny, and it's still awesome, and it's Henry fucking Rollins, man.
I'm just saying that very, very soon, in your lifetime, like really soon, there will be no one left alive to watch Fox News. And I'm not saying like, let's push these people into an early grave. I'm just saying everyone dies eventually, except for Mick and Keith. Everyone else is going to go.
But there's a lot of things that my brain won't allow me to understand, you know, because they're so incredibly boring. Especially with politics, you get 2 pages, you go, oh, bollocks, who cares? I've become a kind of anarchist, you know. I think roughly the desire to be a politician should bar you for life from ever being one. Don't vote, it encourages them.
Billy Connolly is an institution.
Fat people shouldn't wear leggings. These may make your arse look even bigger.
Comedian, actor, folk singer, no one compares to the Big Yin.
I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I don't believe in gods. I don't believe in angels. I don't believe in fucking crap. It's all there to frighten the fucking working class. Oh, you behave yourself, all the big woozy.
I could fix everything with pot. I could fix all this bullshit in the Middle East. Crop duster planes filled with chronic smoke, just bomb. Dude, what the fuck are we doing with our lives, man? If you like that joke, you are pro-weed.
Joe Rogan is like the perfect introduction for people who want to get into deep comedians.
Space is the most taken-for-granted thing ever. If we all lived underground or indoors, there was only one place in the whole world where you could see space. You know how popular that shit would be? Everybody would travel to see space. You would just stand there and hold hands and look up and go, "Wah!" And it goes on forever. Do you know what forever means? It means this whole universe of hundreds of billions of galaxies might just be a part of one atom. It's in the cell of the balls of one guy who lives in another universe. It's part of one atom that's a cell of a ball and a guy. And it goes on and on and on and on forever. And there's no fucking end. And you're looking at a ditch.
This is Stephen Hawking with a prostitute. Suck my cock, you bitch. Suck my hairy balls. Suck it, whore. Suck my balls, you bitch. Suck it, get it down there. You prostitute, whore.
David fucking Cross is one of the kings of black comedy. No, not black comedy. Black comedy.
I provide a service where I will eat and describe pork to kosher people. Slow smoked baby back ribs. Oh shit. What a bummer you ended up with a god who won't let you have this. What's in it for him anyway? You don't know? I don't know. Nobody knows. And I think there should be national health care. But the more I'm watching these clowns on TV, the more I'm going, oh, actually, I don't want you to have health care. I want you to die.
Best auction I've ever had. You might have seen this next comedian on the David Letterman show. But I believe more people have seen me at the store. I sit at the hotel at night, I think of something that's funny, then I go get a pen and I write it down. Or, if the pen's too far away, I have to convince myself that what I thought of ain't funny.
I've heard nearly every joke of his several times, and it still makes me chuckle. And I'm eternally bummed that we'll never get a lifetime's worth of material from this guy. Seriously, Mitch would have been the king of Twitter.
Security guard came over and said, "You're gonna have to move. You're blocking the fire exit." As though if there was a fire, I wasn't gonna run.
You know what, man? I got a parrot. The parrot talked, but it did not say I'm hungry, so it died.
I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. You know, you can't please all the people all the time. And last night, all those people were at my show. I love you guys. Thanks for coming to my special.
The Democratic Party, which is a party of no ideas, and the Republican Party, which is a party of bad ideas.
The man who turned anger into an art form. Lewis Black is the comedic correspondence of reading the newspaper.
I would love to have the faith to believe that it took place in 7 days, but I have thoughts.
Because you married people are pricks. So, are you married? Do you have children? And I go, no. And then they just look sad. Oh, why do you exist? Copenhagen is a happy city. This is how happy they are. And I went down to the park, and a band was playing. It turned out to be the military band. And they were playing Dancing Queen. That's a country I can go to war with.
Well, right now, who's more racist, black people or white people? Black people. You know why? Because we hate black people too.
Richard Pryor 2.0. I don't even want to say anything about Chris Rock when I can just let Chris Rock tell you about Chris Rock.
Got myself a GED. You know what GED stands for? Good enough diploma. Ain't never seen no black vice president, not while there's a white president. You know why? Because some black guy would just kill the president, that's why. Shit, I do it. Every time black people want to have a good time, ignorant ass niggas fuck it up.
Just back and forth, like 6-hour stints at History Channel, Discovery Channel, back and forth. Ask me anything about sharks and Nazis.
Ricky Gervais is a comedy legend. His stand-up is, as the British would call it,
brilliant. I came across a theory that it deviates from Darwin's, and I believe that. I just found it in a dusty old book in a library. It's called the Bible.
He made The Office, which was franchised off into countries around the world, including The Office, fucking extras.
I don't want any fat people to feel uncomfortable at one of my gigs, so next time buy 2 seats.
And the crowning achievement of his entire legacy, Carl Pilkington.
I reckon we'll blend all our food.
There was a really fat bloke on the plane. He was playing on his PSP. While I waited to go to the toilet, I looked at what game he was playing. It was darts. He's that fat and lazy, you can't even face playing a more active game on a games console.
I've always wanted to kick a duck up the arse.
Now, I love Australia, I do, but the same way I love my parents. They're retarded and I have to.
Brendan Burns is fucking wild. He has the ability to draw out jokes just by hollering them.
Oh, don't be a cunt! For such a horrible, debilitating disease, AIDS has a bit of a wussy name, doesn't it? AIDS. Sounds handy. Maybe we would have all been better off if AIDS was called something like, Stop, look out!
He's like an Australian Sam Kinison.
People need to see themselves in everything. They go to the Grand Canyon and they go, you know what looked good in the Grand Canyon? Fucking me! I did a lot of magic mushrooms in the 90s, right? And now Donald Trump is running for president. And I'm not 100% sure I've come down. Do you ever get the feeling the Republican Party just like to wheel out a retard to distract the nation's satirists? Trump, my name's on a plane! Fired, pussy! Like...
I was trying to teach my friends some English phrases you really don't learn until you are a 5th generation English speaker. Thing like, why, but who cares? Doesn't even matter.
Funniest female comedian ever. Period.
I love my country. Maybe that's because I'm white and rich. We're here in sub-Saharan Africa because people sometimes have to walk tens of hundreds of miles for food, water, and basic medical care. And that's why we've chosen this village for an extreme makeover. Tell me, Mobutu, how does life feel as a blonde?
Well, my husband didn't even recognize me, and now when I go to the aid truck and fight other women for flour, I feel more confident.
Oh, MacDonald had a pterodactyl, E-I-E-I-O, with a... And I'm sure we'd have become great friends had I not been fired for chasing her around the copy room with 2 staple removers, screaming, "We must atone for the toner! We must atone for the toner!"
I just don't know when you're joking. Is he joking, this comedian? Is this comedian joking up on the comedy stage at this comedy festival? Do you think he's fucking joking? You're joking, you stupid fucking cunts!
You might need some subtitles before getting used to him, but it will be worth it.
I'm not related to Susan Boyle, although we do have a lot in common. I also look ridiculous dressed as a woman. Science isn't all progress, man. Did you see the Mars probe? Yeah, that's what our society needs. More pictures of fuck all. Yeah, oh, we've had a probe which has successfully crash-landed onto Mars. To me, it's not successful if it's crashed. That's a bit like saying that you've swum the channel because your corpse gets washed up on a beach.
Frankie Boyle is brutally hilarious. He's like the Doug Stanhope of Scotland.
What about you, wee boy? What's your ambition? You got an ambition? Policeman? You fucking little cunts. Do you know Brown has said that we need a national debate about whether Margaret Thatcher gets a state funeral? The only debate most people are having is whether or not she needs to be dead before we bury her.
But when you get a little bit older, it's really evil because you wake up and you think you're fine. It's a beautiful day. Birds swaying, the trees sing.
Dylan Moran is like the Frankie Boyle of Ireland.
If women were serious about feminism, they would have everything that feminists talk about getting. Equal pay, you could have that tomorrow. If women would give up bitching about one another for 5 minutes.
He reels you in with his signature persona of a bumbling drunken Irishman.
What was I gonna say? Quickly, I can't remember. I can't do everything around here.
And sticks the fucking landing with that sardonic perspective.
We don't believe in anything. We treat religion with contempt. Faith, all that rubbish. What are you, a child? Believing in this, you do good and then, you die and you get a biscuit? To me, it really is just people talking about their imaginary friend. At length. Somebody who's not there. But some of them are world leaders. What are we going to do, sir? There's the crisis. There's going to be all sorts of ramifications unless we deal with this immediately. What are we going to do? That's fine, no problem. Give me a moment. I'll be right back. Opening the briefcase. What are we going to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Kill them all. That's fine.
I've got an inner blogger that reviews my show as it's in progress. Marin started off kind of awkward, making notice of a woman who went woo.
I can totally see myself growing into a less successful Mark Maron when I get older. A bitter atheist Jew with no kids and 3 cats working out of his garage.
I don't have time to go. I'm a Jew, whatever that means. I'm a Jew. Culturally, I'm a Jew. I was brought up a Jew. I did the thing, and I made a little money. Do you ever think about, when you were a little kid? What happened to that kid? There was a time where some of us could just be like, look, I have a rock! And that was enough. That was enough.
He's got the most popular podcast in the world, but it's too bad he doesn't have as much stand-up.
We watched him when we were eating our cereal, like me and my brother. I was eating my Cocoa Pebbles, and he was eating Fruity Pebbles, which are bullshit. With Cocoa Pebbles, you're working towards chocolate milk. You're going to get chocolate milk. I mean, what do you get with Fruity Pebbles? It's like this gay milk. It's just gay milk. Marin feels weird about using the word gay in that context, but he rationalizes it by thinking that Fruity Pebbles had many colors, giving it a rainbow theme, which...
Every black dude in this room is a qualified paralegal and shit. One of us even start to do something wrong, an old black man would pop out of nowhere. Nigga, don't do that, that's 5 to 10.
Hilarious, honest, high.
I've stopped smoking weed. With black people, you didn't let me finish, motherfuckers, goddamn. Hey, baby. Baby, go home, man. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What the fuck are you doing up? The baby said, I'm selling weed, nigga. I said, oh, shit. I don't trip off of being a celebrity. I don't like it. You like him because he wrote the Declaration of Independence and all that shit. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. Go get me a sandwich, nigga, or I'll kill you. Liberty, justice for all.
many different genres, and I like your sort of heavy metal, thrash metal, black metal, death metal, and Enya, actually.
Stephen Hughes is like the Dylan Moran of Australia, but he needs to be the next Jim Jeffries of America.
I smoked so much pot growing up, I had a poster of Bob Marley in my bedroom, and in it, Bob was wearing a t-shirt with me on it.
Not just because he's hilarious and deserves it, but because it would make the world a better place.
Jobs, they can get fucked. I've had enough. Why do we have to do them? Everything's fucking built. It's made up by the ruling elites who are tired and poor and can't rebel or philosophise about our own existence and actually fucking evolve properly. It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. 5 days on, 2 days off. 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 How long does this last till you're fucking dead? Should be 2 days on, 5 days off. That way, everyone can have a job.
And watch them. If you go to America and you look at Americans in their natural habitat, the theme park, the shopping mall, the race riot, the high school massacre, and you watch them walking around, looking at colours and shapes.
Stuart Lee is like the Captain Beefheart of comedy.
I hate Twitter. It's like a state surveillance agency run by gullible volunteers. 1:30 p.m. Wow, Rooney. I've just seen Stuart Lee walking around Dalston Junction on his own, eating a burger in the street. He looks fat and depressed and fat.
This dude emphasizes the setup so much that I can't even accurately sample him because his bits are so long.
All I'm saying, if you've not seen me before, yeah, is the jokes are there, they're there. But some of you might have to raise your game.
He is the hilarious and intelligent master of deadpan.
And the way that Russell Brand thinks up cutesy, diminutive Mr. Men names for his own penis makes him sound like a child molester who is trying to convince himself to allow himself to molest himself. And is this who you wanted to see? Seems like an aggressive lecture.
So I'm trying to jerk off to Girls Gone Wild. I can't do it because I'm a father. I'm too old. I'm just getting mad at everybody in the video. I'm like, you fucking irresponsible bitches, go back to school.
Louis can make a joke out of anything, but not just any joke. The best possible joke you could extract from that thing.
I'm talking to her. She goes, Daddy, does the Earth go around the sun? And I was like, yeah. She goes, does it do it all the time? I'm like, yeah. She says, will the Earth always go around the sun forever? And I was like, well, no, at some point the sun's gonna explode. She started crying immediately, crying bitter tears for the death of all humanity. And here's how I tried to save it. I go, oh, honey, this isn't gonna happen until you and everybody you know has been dead for a very long time. She didn't know any of those things. And now she knows all of those things. She's gonna die. Everybody she knows is gonna die. They're gonna be dead for a very long time. And then the sun's gonna explode.
That period when he was the biggest comic around was such a good time to be alive.
He says, this is private property. And I said, well, I don't really believe in that. Young, skinny dudes, best life in the world. Hey, I'm here for the easy pussy for the rest of my life. Little boys in my kids' class, I hate them. I hate little boys. I'm like the opposite of a pedophile. There's one kid in my daughter's class who I hate so much. And it's really fucked up because I'm 44 and I hate a 6-year-old. We got out of the food chain. That is a massive upgrade. Every single life except human life. Every life ends like this. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Yeah. Sex offenders. Dude, they're on every channel. Everybody is doing something on sex offenders. You know, it's like, dude, I got it. There's people out there touching kids. You know, it's a very small portion of the population. So, you know, take it down a few, because you're making it fucking awkward out there. Dude, you can't say hi to kids anymore. I love kids. Remember back in the day when a kid would come walking up to you, you could pat him on the head. Hey there, Rusty, how you doing, right? Now a kid comes walking up and I'm like, dude, get that thing the fuck away from me. Get it away from me.
Bill Burr might be the biggest comic working today.
When I was a kid, you dressed like a woman and you sung about the devil. Now that was music. Say what we say when we say it. Say it again, then you can go home to your toys. All right, I'll say it. I'll say it again. Now can I go home to my toys?
This dude is so funny it hurts. The heavyweight champ of cynical comedy.
Coming out there, and if elected, I would implement a program to immediately eliminate at least 85% of you. This planet cannot sustain the sheer numbers. Let me finish.
There's guys hitting women, they need to be stopped. We gotta understand that gold-digging whores are the wife beaters for men. They're fucking bums. Sitting there with fucking Dorito dust in their cleavage, walking around with hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sick of that shit. That's what the law says. 100 years ago, I could beat you with a fucking mop handle and be like, well, that's what the law says. Doesn't make us right.
Oh, with the tears.
No, if you're gonna have a pro-drug argument, start the argument where it starts. It's my fucking business. Fuck off.
Louis C.K. once said Doug Stanhope is the most fearless and searing comedian working today.
It's all those dog shit religions that start these fucking wars to begin with. You never hear in the news, 200 killed today when atheist rebels took heavy shelling from the agnostic stronghold.
And being Louis, he was fucking right. He's like the Stephen Hughes of America. Yeah, wrap your mind around that shit.
I mean, you're born absolutely free except for laws of nature. Those, if you drink, you get drunk. That's a law. If you get old, you die. That's a law too. If you sit on a tack, you will bleed from the ass. These are the only laws that you're born with, and any government just fucks you out of that type of freedom. Why can't I do it? I'm just having a beer. What? I don't know. That's the law, though. You don't fuck around. You can't drive down the street without a seatbelt on. Why not? I don't know. You're gonna put on a helmet. You can't sit in your own backyard naked. Your own filthy, dirty flesh that you're born with. You know that body you carry around? Filthy. You can't sit out. Why not? I don't know. That's just the way it is. Mother! You're not free in the least. You need a diploma in this country to cut hair. They say if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, then he's got to get a fishing license, but he doesn't have any money. So he's going to get a job, and he has to get into the Social Security system and pay taxes. And you couldn't even cook the fish because you needed a permit for an open flame. You were born free, you got fucked out of half of it, and you wave a flag celebrating. We get to pick our leaders. What if I don't want a leader? Where does that vote go? I do good on my own. I don't want to be led. At least black people knew when they were slaves. You remain clueless.
Doug Stanhope is the best comic working today.
With liberty and justice for all. Must be 18, void where prohibited. Some restrictions may apply. Not available in all states.
One time, me and 3 friends dropped acid, drove around in my dad's car. He has one of those talking cars. We're tripping, and the car goes, "The door is ajar." We pulled over and thought about that for 12 hours, man. Shit, how can a door be ajar?
Bill Hicks was no hick. He's more like Lenny Bruce 3000.
Where have I been? I've been on my flying saucer tour, which means, like flying saucers, I too have been appearing in small southern towns in front of a handful of hillbillies lately. They have the window set up to look exactly like it did on that day, and it's really accurate, you know, because Oswald's not in it. By the way, if anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself.
Born in Texas, he grew up to be the antithesis of the world surrounding him.
John Lennon, murdered. John Kennedy, murdered. Martin Luther King, murdered. Gandhi, murdered. Jesus, murdered. Reagan, wounded.
You ever see a good drug story on the news? Never. Today, a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather. I am available for children's parties right now.
If he did not die of lung cancer at the age of 32, he'd have a lot to say about the world today.
I had a vision.
I'm going to share with you a vision that I had.
Kind of an interesting theory, and all we have to do is make one decisive act.
A choice right now between fear and love. Because I love you. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride.
You know all that money we spend on nuclear weapons and defense every year?
Trillions of dollars, correct? Instead, spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, and it would pay for it many times over.
Not one human being excluded.
And we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. Thank you very much. You've been great. I hope you enjoyed it.
Well, if you know anything about comedy and the Dope Man, then you know who's number one.
So these Reagan people, these right-wingers in general, these crypto-fascists, they're against homosexuality. They're against pornography. They're against sex education. They're against abortion. Yeah, they're going to get government off your back, but they're going to tell you how to live your sex life. And let me ask you this, how would they know anything about it? Have you ever taken a look at those people? Doesn't it strike you as mildly ironic that most of the people
who are against abortion
are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place, huh?
George Carlin is not just the greatest stand-up comedian, but the greatest human specimen to ever exist.
I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. And I gotta tell you folks, I don't get all choked up about yellow ribbons and American flags. I consider them to be symbols, and I leave symbols to the symbol-minded.
No one covered as much ground as him. No one achieved his longevity.
Hey, here's another place we could put some low-cost housing. Cemeteries. There's another idea whose time has passed. Saving all the dead people in one part of town? What the hell kind of a superstitious, religious, medieval bullshit idea is that? Plow these motherfuckers up, plow them into the streams and rivers of America. We need that phosphorus for farming. If we're gonna recycle, let's get serious.
He was arrested for his infamous 7 dirty words routine and wound up in a Supreme Court case that said the government has the right to censor the airwaves.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. Now that was the original list.
He was like a nihilist hippie, a proto-peace punk.
Just the worst kind of low-life criminal cocksuckers you could ever want to run into. A fucking piece of shit businessman. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky who watches everything you do every minute of every day.
He was the premier counterculture comedian, the greatest iconoclast the world has ever known.
Nobody questions things. Why? People are too fat and happy. People are way too fucking prosperous for their own good. Everyone's got a cell phone that'll make pancakes and rub their balls now, you know? Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream. Because you have to be asleep to believe it. Sooner or later, the people in this country are going to realize the government does not give a fuck about them. Government doesn't care about you or your children or your rights or your welfare or your safety. It simply doesn't give a fuck about you. It's interested in its own power. That's the only thing, keeping it and expanding it wherever possible. Personally, when it comes to rights, I think one of two things is true. I think either we have unlimited rights or we have no rights at all. Personally, I lean toward unlimited rights. I feel, for instance, I have the right to do anything I please. But if I do something you don't like, I think you have the right to kill me. So where are you going to find a fairer fucking deal than that?
And he was a master of the English language.
Rude, crude, lewd, lascivious, indecent, profane, obscene, blue, off-color, risque, suggestive.
There is another pack of jack-offs who ought to be strangled in front of their children. There are some more people who ought to be strapped into chairs and beaten with hammers. People who deserve an inoperable tumor at the base of their spine. People with missing chromosomes who ought to be thrown screaming from a helicopter. Smashed across the face repeatedly with a piece of heavy mining equipment. Fuck them, throw them away. Who needs unbendable toenails? Not me. Bullshit. Fuck you up yours, get laid, eat shit, drop dead, jack me off, suck this. I don't need parts that badly. I'm not that sick.
With 14 HBO specials, 20 albums, and 6 books, George Carlin was not a comedian. He was a very funny philosopher. He was an anarchist without ever using the word.
I would love to see a completely anarchistic human race.
He said it! He said it!
Well, that's a poetic note. And it's a start. And I can dream, can't I? I don't worry about the little things. Bees, trees, whales, snails. I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. You know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. Whoa. 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 It doesn't punish. It doesn't reward. It doesn't even judge. It just is. And so are we. For a little while. Thanks for being here with me for a little while tonight.
Yeah, I know, Lenny and Richard weren't on the list. Look, I love them, it's just that I like the others more. What are you gonna do, dislike the video? It's too bad most of my heroes are dead, but a few of them are still kicking. So go to a show and buy that fucker a drink, because the best way to deal with this world is to laugh at it. Because it seriously is fucking absurd.
You ever wonder why so much stuff sucks? This is cool.